Wer ist der Sheriff dieser Stadt?
Well, I guess that'd be us.
Tom Magnum.
Wie seid ihr hierher gekommen?
Time-traveling sheriff's not that matters much, but I'm Mike Magnum. This here,
Tom Magnum.
together we are the Magnum Brothers. Yeah. Ron, Jeremy, you got one chance. We don't like your porn types around here.
Ihr werdet vernichtet werden.
Thomas, now!
Es ist vorbei. Ich bringe das jetzt für ein und alle Mal zu Ende.
Ron, Jeremy, you bastard.
Ich werde Tom Magnum pulverisieren, wenn du dein Gewehr nicht sofort fallen lässt.
Don't you worry, I'll drop this gun. Just don't hurt Tom. Tom, you trust me?
Gut. Und nun werde ich euch in meiner Wut niederstrecken. Ich werde unmöglich.
Tom Magnum.
Nein!
You know, they say a hard life's work meant for a hard man. Hard life.
Mike, you've had a ranch for 1 year, dog.
I know, I'm a little lost. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about this lever action right here, the tactical lever action. This is from Ranger Point Precision. This is the Henry Model X, and we're going to be doing all the tests we possibly can on this to prove whether or not it is actually useful in a day of semi-autos and, yeah, just semi-autos. That kind of...
That's really it,
Yeah, that's just, I mean... But before we start shooting, we of course have to talk about the sponsors, the biggest sponsor of the channel being the Sonoran Desert Institute. If you're looking to get your start in gunsmithing, they are the people to go to. They support our crazy antics, and we love them, right, Micah?
We do.
Yeah, we love them very much. Go check them out. Of course, who can we not forget? Micah!
Primary arms, sick optics, great price, and
Skittles, maybe. They make great optics, great price. Go and check them out. And of course, if you're looking to get better at shooting, dry fire is really important. You should be dry firing. Mantis turns your gun into a dry fire machine. And a big thank you, actually, in this case, to Fort Scott Ammunition for providing all the 4570. Micah, how much 4570 have we been shooting?
Too much.
Actually, really good ammo.
More than it.
So we have the same rifle right here, just two different configurations. But when it comes to mechanics, these are the exact same rifle. We have a 4570 from Henry. We have a 4570 from Henry with a lot more crap on it. Unnecessary, Micah?
Maybe.
Maybe. So we're gonna do a couple drills, and what we want to determine is, do all the accessories, do they help at all? Now there's some things we can't quantify. We don't know exactly what you're doing or exactly who you're fighting. You know, it might be something that requires an M-LOK full-length quad rail on your lever action. We just don't know. But what we're going to be testing is going to be, first off, speed. So we'll show you the speed difference between these two rifles. We'll be showing you target transition as far as the difference between the sight pictures of the two, and then we'll show you far shots. And then we'll kind of discuss a couple other factors that maybe the drills won't be able to, you know, kind of flesh out, and we'll finish off by talking with the rifle. But as always, talk is cheap, and ammunition is sponsored by who, Micah?
AAC. Oh, no. Fort Knox.
Fort Scott Ammunition. Big thank you to them for the 4570. On Henry lever actions, you can load through the tube by disengaging, but as you can see, the rail blocks it on the Ranger Point Precision, or you can load through the side gate. That's my preferred method anyhow, but just if you're obsessed with loading it through the tube up front, you're not really going to be able to do that on this guy right here. So we have full power, 4570. All right, we're going to do 5 rounds, 4570, A-zone. Micah, ready with the timer? Beep. I didn't look 5. Well, I think I failed the drill, but we'll continue it.
Shooter, are you ready?
Yeah.
Am I? Beep.
Woo! Okay, there we go.
That's consistent.
Question is, did I beat Micah with the mulligan in there?
By the way, next time there's a like a costume party at the range, you gotta let me know.
No.
All right. Can I beat? I mean, every time we do these, I mean, you've had like a 1,000 trillion rounds on this.
Yes.
And yeah.
You should shot a lot of lever action.
Shooter, are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by.
Nice.
That was it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I got one out. Look at these holes.
I know, it's a big old 45. Next up, the normal lever action.
Stand by.
That feels better. Actually, in some, because it's like because of that quivers right there, kind of your natural, they're probably gonna hate me, but whatever. Your natural kind of hold point in a lever action is back where that quiver is for the, with all the rounds, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
We kind of had that same problem with the Mad Pig Customs, remember that?
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's right where you kind of want to grip on a lever action, because like, I don't want to be all the way out there. I don't know. Tell me what you think.
Okay.
Immediately upon grabbing this, I noticed it was lighter. When I say this is lighter, I mean this is like significantly lighter. I already feel like I could present it faster.
Stand by. Up.
Except for that hang up, that was good.
It was
dude.
good. There is one thing I did just notice I like about that better. I think the weight and the suppressor either gives an illusion of less recoil or it actually just has less recoil.
Did great, dude. You did better than with the less recoil.
Next up is going to be a little bit of target transition here. So we have these two steel targets. We're going to do the widest, so it's going to be transitioning from one target to the next target. It's the only transition we like. And it's going to be about sight picture. So with a suppressor, with a red dot, I think a lot easier. Beep. That did feel easy with the dot, but I mean, we're kind of used to it. And it's kind of at that AR height already, so it does feel natural to present. It just probably don't need this.
I don't think... I actually think I fucking hate lever actions. Oh yeah, this is cool, man. Oh, real cool. Take your gun back.
So the suppressor, I agree, definitely does give you like the illusion of softer recoil. Same thing with the AR-15s, you know?
Yeah.
Like it just feels nicer.
Okay, shooter ready.
Yep.
Stand by.
Buffalo Hunter. No, that felt really, really smooth, to be honest.
Shooter, are you ready?
Yep.
Stand by. Up.
Yeah.
I think it was faster.
So next up, we have a far shot. Well, far for 4570, which is about 120. I think here is where the red dot's going to shine. It's just easier to aim. All you do is put the dot on there compared to like iron sights, just a little bit more lining up. You can get really good with iron sights, but when we talk about making things as easy as possible, a red dot is just easier. Like any type of optic is easier. You can fit any type of optic you want on here, from a dot to a magnified optic, so it's just going to be easier overall. All right, here we go. The tactical range point precision 4570 at 125. Beep. Yeah, that felt good. I can tell you right now, these buckhorn sights, at this distance, that front post is about the size of the target. That is going to suck. Beep. So, not nearly as easy. I will 100% just put an optic rail on there, which you can do. It would look blasphemous because it's on a brass receiver, but this would be an incredible rifle. The handguard and the suppressor, it's nice because it lessens recoil with the suppressor, and I get it, you can keep it in the back of like your UTV or your truck, so if you're, out in your ranch or something, just hitting varmints, you don't need ear pro, but at the same time, like, it's just, all you need is the optic and the suppressor. I'm good. Okay, we're gonna show recoil difference between these two. We have a large suppressor on there. Suppressors also typically lessen recoil for many reasons. So we will show the difference in both single and rapid. I'm gonna do what I normally do, which is I'm controlling the gun, and you'll see the difference. Okay, next up we have the normal 4570. I'm gonna control the recoil like I always do, but I can't thumb over bore like Chris Costa. Literally. Yeah, definitely more. Interesting. Let's go talk about it.
Y'all might be wondering how we all got so buff. Most beef. For those moments we don't have beef, First Form. Except no other substitute, proudly sponsored. Don't forget they have other great stuff like greens. We like them greens quite a bit. Back to the video.
All right, so we have the tale of two lever actions. So, when it comes to recoil, the Tactical Ranger Point Precision Costa Ludus railed Henry 4570 has less recoil. Now, there are a couple reasons why. Let's go ahead and let's talk about those. So, Mike, if you want to come in here, first off, we do have a Griffin Armament Bushwhacker, which is a can that was specifically made for the 4570 for lever actions in general. It does work really well. It is a very quiet can. When we were shooting up on top of the hill, especially when the sound could dissipate in the hills around here, it literally sounded like nothing. So it is a very good suppressor. And in addition to being a really good sound suppressor, it also adds weight to the end of the gun. So when you're shooting it, what ends up happening is that helps control that recoil really well. Now there are other ways to control recoil. You can use muzzle compensators, but I think that having a suppressor is a much better option because it's just a lot more friendly to fire. So in general, if you can have a suppressor on your 4570, it's going to be very quiet. Now, a lot of people believe that 4570 is just a subsonic round. This is not true. Especially with the barrel length that we're talking about here, your round is breaking the sound barrier, so you still do have that supersonic crack. Despite that, it is still quite quiet, and it should be noted that you can buy 4570 that is specifically designed to be subsonic, and that would be a very quiet weapon. It won't have a whole lot of range. 4570 is already pretty limited, but it is certainly an option for those of you who are really attached to the 4570. Now, another reason we can control recoil so well is going to be the rail right here. Now, this is the Costa Ludus rail from Chris Costa that is designed with him in Ranger Point Precision. And there's a lot of nice things I can say about it, but one of the best things is because it lifts that top rail off of that barrel, it allows you to really control the recoil on that weapon and also opens up a lot of other possibilities. We'll talk about those in a second. But because of that, I'm able to hold that with that thumb over bore. I can really control that gun, and combined with the suppressor on there really adds in mitigating the recoil on this weapon. I do find the bottom rail to be really ergonomic. It actually feels really good in my hand. So with all that together, from the front end to the fore end, we have a lot that's contributing to that lower recoil. And in addition to that, compared to our normal 4570, we do have a pretty large rubber butt pad, and that helps a lot as well. So all these things are coming into play to make for a much lower recoiling gun compared to your stock 4570 that we have right there. So now that we've described the recoil being a lot less, let's talk about what could be a little extra on this gun. That is 100% going to be the rail, and this is kind of the centerpiece when it comes to our Ranger Point Precision build right here. But having the top rail on your 4570, having M-LOK on your lever action, feels excessive. It really doesn't feel necessary, and I know that might be kind of a heartbreaking to some people. It does look cool as hell, I have to admit. But
looking cool matters. Sometimes more than how you operate.
100%. And when it comes to lever action, this isn't a weapon that I believe that you guys would be using to, fight the revolution in Arma 3 or whatever, what have you. But despite that, it certainly isn't needed. Now, here's what's good about it. What's good about it is that it is stable for laser usage. So for like our D-ball right here, or a PEC 15, or anything that fires out IR laser energy, infrared floodlight, you are going to retain 0 on this top rail, and it was designed that way, and it works really well. So if you are shooting in night vision and you really want to use the laser, that works. If you don't want to use a laser, well, then all you need is the back optic rail, and you don't specifically need to have all this up front. If you want to use clip-on night vision, that's going to be a really good reason to have this front rail as well, or if you're using clip-on thermals. All that, you 100% need this. Otherwise, this is 100% unnecessary. Now, for those of you out in Texas fighting the good fight against hogs, I can see a lot of appeal to this rail because This top rail right here allows you to add thermal, allows you to add a clip-on night vision. For you hog guys out there, I know that's a big deal. So there's definitely a big market when it comes to that. If you're using a 4570 lever action, this certainly has its place. And just like any other gun, the nice thing about having a bunch of aluminum up front here, and just like any other gun, having a bunch of aluminum up here is also going to help dissipate heat. So your heat is going to come off much more easily. It's going to act as a heat sink and help the weapon cool off faster. If you know anything about 4570, it gets hot fast. So that is really helpful. So right here at the back, we do have the quiver. I do like it quite a bit. It does extend to right where I like to grip on a lever action. It feels much more comfortable for me to grip back here. That is kind of a length of pull thing. If you are above 6 foot, so I'm at 6 foot, if you're like a giant, this is probably gonna be a little bit better in terms of your hand placement. But I think for me, I'd probably not even want that quiver right there. It really isn't a big deal to me. I'd probably just end up having some type of stock that can hold rounds, whether it be a leather pouch or the stock that you can buy from Ranger Point Precision. This is the Ranger Point Precision stock. Now, on my lever action right here, I wanted the wood stock on there for vibes, to be honest. But this stock is really good. The reason it's so good is, one, you can have rounds on your stock itself, which I think is a lot more useful. And in addition, if you have some type of AR height optic or any type of optic that has more height on it compared to just like a rail mounted, you can add these variable risers in here so you can get your cheek position to the right level. So it is really well designed. It is probably my favorite part of the Ranger Point Precision product line that they released. This is 100% what I would recommend over the rail unless you absolutely need that rail. Ranger Point Precision also has a good trigger setup that you can put on your gun as well. These all come together to make a really good lever action package from the stock to the forend, depending on what you need. It's all going to come down to you. Are you a hog hunter? You eliminating varmints out on your ranch? Or are you're LARPing as a time-traveling sheriff? I don't know what you're doing. When it comes to the best thing you can add to your lever action, 100% probably the stock from Ranger Point Precision. Obviously an optic rail if you don't already have one on your lever action, and if you can, a suppressor. All those things I think are best for me. I'm not really running thermal or clip-on night vision, so the handguard doesn't really matter nearly as much to me. Micah, what's your favorite one?
I'd actually agree about the stock, but I also do love the full-length Picatinny. I know it doesn't work for you, but I like it.
That's fair, man. We're all a little bit different, and that's okay. If this is something that you want to get because it looks cool, there is no problem. If you're a hog hunter, you need that thermal, you need that night vision capability, 100% this handguard is good for you. If you are a giant man like our engineer Christian Barrett, then you probably need this handguard because you need that length to be able to grab up there. This is a fun lever action. I've really enjoyed shooting this. We've been shooting this thing for a long time, putting a shit ton of Fort Scott ammunition through it. And you know what? It's been running great. With the suppressor on there, it's an extremely just pleasurable build to shoot. You can take a novice shooter and show them this huge round, and it really isn't that bad. So it is fun. Is it any better than your typical lever action? Mainly only because of the optic, but you can add optics to any lever action nowadays. So beyond that, it's all going to be a use case scenario. But if it's only for fun, guess what? That is A-okay. That's Grand Thumb approved. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed a little bit of tactical lever action. We always do, isn't that right?
Bussin'.
But as always, guys, get training. If you're not trained at this thing, you're not going to be good with it, so it's not really going to matter. And you can get a training from a ton of places, but you can also get it from just actually doing it yourself. So get out there and go train.